there is a place for you as someone who can stabilize people directly after the first responders, and especially to take care of the eyewitnesses. So people who have been there, who have been seeing horrible images, and quite often have just survived by an inch or, very narrowly. So these are people who would extremely benefit from you being present and stabilizing them on the spot. And this is exactly what happened here. The Red Cross has been rushing in, and the Red Cross being more responsible for the infrastructural needs of such a zone, let's call it a disaster zone or disaster area. So they have been setting up camp very quickly and provided food supplies and counseling and, someone to talk to. And in the case of Barcelona, there was you have to imagine, an area of almost a square kilometer that was hermetically sealed off because there was police suspected to be someone to be still on the run, and that actually was the case. So they tried to, find this person, and so they blocked every exit from this zone in a certain distance. But there were, of course, hundreds of people, maybe thousands, trapped inside that area, and many of them were non-residents of the area. So I have not been personally in that area because police warned to go to the area at the moment or at the time you didn't know what would happen next, right? So I was careful and I didn't go there. I followed the police advice. But still there were so many people there and trapped, and I see two main groups of people who have been, let's say, indirectly affected or secondarily affected by what happened. It's the eyewitnesses, of course, whom I mentioned, but it's also the people who have been trapped in that zone in the fear of not knowing what will happen next. Are we safe yet? And then not being let out immediately. I suspect people had to go some screening process. I didn't research on that, what they actually really did, but I heard from many people who I knew that they had to stay for many hours after the event until they could be cleared. Obviously IDs were checked or something like that, so that people could leave the area. Here in the case of Barcelona, they diffused around the city, and in the evening of the same day you could see quite some people at the beach. I mean, the beach is always busy, as you can imagine. It wasn't busy, it was very quiet. And observed that, all the couples were walking hand in hand. Everybody was very vigilant and looking left and right, and people were very quiet. Almost nobody was looking at their phones. People were talking, interacting. It was a very somber mood. It was a city in shock, you could say.